Have you ever stopped to think about why the Middle East is always in the headlines? Why it's the most fought-over region on Earth? And why the world's most powerful nations can't seem to stay out of its affairs? It's a question that gets to the heart of global politics, economics, and even our own daily lives. Because the answer has a direct impact on the price we pay for everything from gas to groceries. Consider the times you've been to the pump and winced at the price of filling up your tank. Or when you've been to the supermarket and seen the prices of staple foods like bread and rice skyrocketing. It's all connected to the Middle East and the commodity that drives the world's economy, oil. The reality is that our addiction to oil has turned the Middle East into a powder keg, a region where ancient rivalries and modern-day power struggles collide in a deadly game of geopolitics. And we're all caught in the crossfire. From the Syrian refugee crisis to the Iran nuclear deal, our TVs and social media feeds are constantly filled with images of war, protest, and instability. And it's hard not to wonder what's driving it all. Take the example of the 1973 oil embargo, when Arab oil producers cut off oil supplies to the US and other Western countries, sparking a global economic crisis and changing the course of modern history. Or the 1991 Gulf War, when a coalition of nations led by the US invaded Iraq to liberate Kuwait and secure access to its vast oil reserves. Or the more recent example of the war in Yemen, where a Saudi-led coalition has been battling Iranian-backed Houthi rebels for control of the country's oil-rich regions. The answer to why the Middle East is the most fought-over region on Earth is simple: oil, and lots of it. The region is home to over 50% of the world's known oil reserves, and the commodity has been the lifeblood of the global economy for over a century, driving growth, prosperity, and innovation, but also conflict, inequality, and environmental degradation. The history of oil in the Middle East is a long and complex one, dating back to the early 20th century when British and American oil companies first began exploring the region for fossil fuels. And it wasn't long before they struck gold, or rather, black gold. The first major oil discovery was made in 1908 in Iran, then known as Persia, and it quickly sparked a scramble for control of the region's oil resources, with European powers like Britain and France competing with each other for influence and access. As the 20th century wore on, the importance of Middle Eastern oil only grew, with the US emerging as a major player in the region, and the creation of the modern nation-states of Saudi Arabia, Iran, Iraq, and Kuwait, all of which were built on oil wealth and Western backing. The region became a battleground for proxy wars and ideological struggles, with the US and Soviet Union competing for influence during the Cold War, and later, with the rise of Islamist extremism and the war on terror, the Middle East has been a constant source of instability and conflict, with oil at the heart of it all. The Iran-Iraq War, for example, was fought in large part over control of the region's oil resources, with Iraq seeking to gain access to Iran's vast oil reserves, and the Gulf War was sparked by Iraq's invasion of Kuwait, which was seen as a threat to the global oil supply. But the impact of oil on the Middle East goes far beyond just geopolitics. It's also had a profound impact on the region's economies and societies, with oil wealth creating vast inequalities and distortions, and undermining the development of other industries and sectors. In countries like Saudi Arabia and Kuwait, oil accounts for over 90% of government revenue, and the lack of economic diversification has made them vulnerable to fluctuations in the global oil price. While in countries like Iran and Iraq, oil has been a curse, fueling corruption, authoritarianism, and conflict. The environmental impact of oil extraction and production has also been devastating, with pollution, climate change, and habitat destruction all taking a toll on the region's fragile ecosystems. In recent years, the Middle East has undergone a significant transformation, with the rise of new players like China and Russia, and the emergence of new technologies like solar and wind power, which are challenging the dominance of oil and gas. The region is also experiencing a demographic shift, with a young and increasingly educated population demanding greater freedoms, opportunities, and prosperity. And as the world transitions to a low-carbon economy, the Middle East will need to adapt and diversify if it's to survive and thrive in a post-oil world. The question is, can the region overcome its reliance on oil and build a more sustainable and equitable future? Or will it remain trapped in the conflicts and contradictions of the past? The next time you fill up your tank, Remember the complex web of history, geopolitics, and economics that goes into every gallon of gas, and the human cost of our addiction to oil.